You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast. And this is show number 577 for Sunday, the 4th of January, 2026.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jayne Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. I'm really impressed with myself, Jayne. I got 2026 done right.
Yeah.
First take.
Yeah, well, the thing is, we all get 2026, the new year, right, whether we're writing it or whether we're speaking it, for about the first, 2.5, 3 weeks of January, then it goes out the window, and then you end up self-correcting yourself till about, I don't know, March, April.
Oopsie. Well, at least it's right now.
Yeah, I'm under no illusions that I will get it wrong, so there you go.
Yeah. I'll be marking work and it'll be all wrong, and I'll be writing it on the board and it'll be all wrong. But hey ho, it is what it is. And welcome to 2026, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year and all that jazz.
Exciting stuff, Jayne, because it means we can start talking about travel for 2026 and beyond. Mm-hmm. We can start looking at what's happening in the theme parks. We can talk about maybe later on our personal discussions on travel, but I'd like to kick off thinking what is coming to the theme parks this year, because my word, Walt Disney World didn't seem as exciting as possible when I visited in August 25, because there were closing things and there were walls up, and it sounds pretty much there's going to be still a lot of walls up, but there are some things that are going to be coming back. Some things that are closing and then coming back all within the year. So there is some excitement.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously there was some very big projects. You know, we'll talk about things like South America's over Animal Kingdom that obviously aren't going to be opening up next year. But I will say, from bits and bobs of vlogs and, you know, pictures that you see on social media, they do look like they're moving along quite swiftly for the moment, and more swiftly than perhaps we've got accustomed to Disney moving in previous years.
I have a theory.
Oh, go on.
Have they employed the build team that Universal normally use?
Well, I think sometimes Universal are a bit crafty. They tend to not announce things until they've already started building, where I think Disney tend to announce things years ahead of any building work starting. I think Disney might need to get better at their announcement process, perhaps. I don't know, but it's just nice to see things happening. But yeah, there's also equally, as you said, things that have closed relatively recently will be reopening again quite quickly. Yeah.
So Disney, if you're listening, stop sharing your blue sky, pie in the sky sort of ideas with us. Because yes, we want to get excited about it, but it's the wait of 9.5 years for these to come to fruition that really, anyway. Magic Kingdom, Jayne. Shall we start there?
Good place to start.
We have Buzz Lightyear. It's been closed through the summer, through autumn, through sort of like spring. It's scheduled to reopen. And the big thing for us, it's going to have different blasters. So that might actually mean I might be able to get a reasonable score.
Yeah, new blasters, new ride vehicles, I think it is, isn't it? And there are some tweaks to the actual ride, that your ability to get points, etc. as well. So it sounds like quite a decent size upgrade for it. But yeah, just the fact that you'll be able to hold your blaster and move it and point it rather than it being stuck to the vehicle. Big bonus.
And plus, let's be honest, in Tomorrowland, that was a really good Omni-Mover type vehicle to get that footfall through. And it has been missed, because in the summer when I was trudging through Tomorrowland, you'd find a massive queue for Tron. Invariably, Space Mountain would be closed, and then that impacted on the People Mover. And sometimes I was waiting 35 minutes for the People Mover, which is just not norm. Is it?
No, it's unheard of, isn't it, normally? But yeah, I mean, we noticed the same thing earlier on in December and late November. We had exactly the same. When the parks were busy, all of a sudden, you know, People Mover was maybe not 30. I think there was a few times it hit over 30 and we just ignored it. But we did stand and wait a few times at the 10, 15, 20-minute mark, which, you know, People Mover, you do feel it's normally just a walk on, don't you?
There is also the castle repaint project that's starting in January, which should take throughout January. And I have seen that there is a plan that when they have the big cranes booms up, they will lower them later in the day so that people can get pictures with the castle without the crane and to be able to see the fireworks without the crane. So I thought, well, that's kind of guest friendly.
That is actually, because I was going to say that that's going to be the only issue painting the castle is cranes in pictures and etc. Although nowadays, Michelle, if you get quite handy with your little photo apps on your phone, you can take things out of photos relatively easily nowadays. Even I've done it.
Or you can post on one of those Facebook groups saying, please remove the 3,500 people in my picture.
Yeah, I like the ones where people say, please remove such and such, and then the people doing the removal are choice with how they've interpreted the request, shall we say. There's some very funny photos out there.
Yes, it's something that always makes me chuckle. So yes, absolutely. Pete's Silly Sideshow, the big tent, that's going to be having some work scheduled. It's closing as of recording on the 4th of January release date. It's going to be closed for a short while I gather they're doing some repair work.
Oh, okay.
So maybe the infrastructure of the tent just needs a little bit of
TLC
sorting. But I really do think that this area, it's a snack spot for you to go and get something to eat. There's always a bit of merch, but it always just feels empty. It never feels the love that it should do. And I feel that maybe Disney are missing a trick with the non-character meat side anyway, where they could put something in there that would drive the crowds. Yeah. So, you know, what do people like to go and buy? Limited edition merch. So put some limited edition merch in there to drive people in there, to make it have a bit more of a purpose than, oh, this is the place I go get a Mickey cookie when I'm flagging and can't be bothered to walk down Main Street.
Yeah, there's maybe some space in there that could be better occupied.
Yeah. We also have the Walt Disney animatronic coming to Carousel of Progress.
This is going to be interesting, isn't it?
So some slight tweaks.
Yeah, is it going to be exactly the same as one that they've got in California, and how is that going to go down?
I think it's nice that we're getting it, because there is one obviously in the spiritual home over in Disneyland, and having not seen it in person and having been told off several times by Stephen Klamasco, who said, actually, Michelle, in person, it is better than it comes across on video. So wait till you see it. So, yeah. And at the end of the day, it's an animatronic. It's not meant to be a Walt Disney.
No, true. And I think it does fit in rather well with the Carousel program. If you're going to put it anywhere, it probably is the most apt place to put it at Disney World. And
it was nice to see that this year they gave a bit of love to the theatre by upgrading the seating. So, you know, it's obviously going to be at Walt Disney World for a long time. And it's nice that the show scenes are getting that little bit of a refresh with the animatronic. And we will see whether we like it or not then.
Yeah, and also it kind of confirms as well, doesn't it, that anybody has any fears of these old school attractions not having the reverence and the respect that they deserve. It kind of sways those fears, doesn't it? The fact that they are putting the time and effort into one of the classic attractions.
100%. Also, what seems to be being down for forever, Big Thunder's due back up in spring.
Yeah, it will have been over a year, won't it? New track and new fireworks inside scenes and bats in caves or whatever it is. You know, there's quite a lot happening to it.
Yeah, paintwork.
A lot of paintwork.
It has been missed because, again, when I was spending my time wandering around in the summer, there wasn't a great deal of things to lure me into the Magic Kingdom. And apart from the people watching in the fields and all of that, I didn't spend as much time as I anticipated in the Magic Kingdom because it just felt it was construction walls and everything I usually go on was closed.
Yeah, and obviously Magic Kingdom at the moment is taking a bit of a hit as far as those construction walls go. And although the Steamboat and Tom Sawyer's Island perhaps weren't as well utilised as they could have been. You have lost those as attractions. You've got, like we said, Buzz Lightyear down, you've got Big Thunder down, and then that has an impact on the rest of the park, because it means that rides that traditionally would be easier rides to get on suddenly become more problematic because queues are there. So it kind of ends up being a bit of a mishmash of lots of reasons why perhaps it's not the most appealing at the moment, when you've got things that you would naturally go towards aren't there.
And then obviously at Piston Peak, they seem to be moving a lot of dirt.
I saw the piles of dirt. There was definitely piles of dirt.
And as yet to be started on is Villains Land.
Yeah, and again though, when is this any foreseeable time in the future, or is this one of these other blue sky thingy-malarkeys that's going to be, years away yet? I don't know.
I think it's get Piston Peak sorted and then move the build crew over to there. So we shall see for an announcement in 2026 at the end of the year maybe, or into 2027 to hear a little bit more about that. But I do know how cray people have gone for the villain show in Hollywood studios. So there is a massive appetite for this. And as you will have enjoyed that in December, that to me is an amazing show and something that has rewatchability every single time. And hats off to the Imagineers who created that, because it is utterly fantastic.
Yeah, and it must solidify for them that the idea of a villain's land is the right way to go. I think it is that the thing of Disney villains are the sort of the villains we love despite we know that they're bad guys. It's not scary villains, it's kind of empathetic villains, isn't it? So I think hopefully that means that when they do get around to doing villains, that they'll do it right. And I still think that there needs to be a roller coaster with Pull the Lever, because it just screamed when we saw. I remember watching Emperor's New Groove going, "Oh, roller coaster ride! It's there! It's in front of you! Come on, they've got to do it, please."
But saying that, they've given Hercules so much love by putting it in as a big stage show on the Disney Destiny.
Yeah.
Then one would think that there might be plans afoot. You never know. Who
knows? Because obviously it's all kind of looking a bit more Maleficent-y, that sort of vibe, isn't it? As far as castles go and as far as the aesthetic of the land goes. Who knows? We're just speculating. Who knows what they'll do?
And we all know Jayne utterly loves Yzma 100%. So, yeah.
Classic.
Well, we're in DHS. We know that Rock and Roller Coaster is going down on the 1st of March.
Yeah.
Pre-show has already gone.
Yeah.
So if you are feeling a little bit nostalgic and you want to see the full pre-show with Aerosmith, hop on over to our YouTube, because I stood and recorded it in August and I uploaded it onto our YouTube page for people to enjoy for posterity. Wow. So, Tracy Farley, fill your boots. And it closes, and it relatively quickly coming round to open again in summer 26, which, as we know, summer could be any time, basically, and let's just hope it's before I leave in August.
Yeah, well, I think summer tends to start around about May time, doesn't it, as far as openings tend to May, June time, so...
Well, if the pre-show elements are being worked on now, I imagine that's going to be a massive element of it.
Yes.
Then they're going to be focusing on the actual attraction. From what I have seen and the timescale they're talking about, it doesn't sound to me that there's going to be anything massively major, maybe just some Muppet theming around the set pieces that the track goes through. And obviously the musical soundtrack, and then the lighting package may differ, but everything else is going to be as is. So it's going to be a quick turnaround, and I'm predicting an opening day. Let me go for July the 4th.
Well, July the 4th could be quite a big day this year, couldn't it?
It could, and we will come back to that very, very soon. May 22nd, the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is getting a Mandalorian Grogu element adding.
Tie in
So
with the film. Yeah.
All the Star Wars fans out there, are you happy about that one?
I think we should wait and see. Depends how good the film is, doesn't it?
True. There's something happening with regards to the former animation courtyard, and they're going to open bits in phases again, summer 26. So we might get to see a little bit of that. Maybe a different date, but obviously a big focus in Hollywood studios is that, and also the Monsters Inc. area as well. And you can see people sharing updates on YouTube, and it is moving at a bit of a speed. So whilst it's not slated to open in 2026, I think we will be seeing more of the land and more details of it coming up very soon.
Yeah, definitely.
So over to Epcot. Frozen is going down for 2 weeks in January, and this is hopefully the animatronic upgrade.
Yeah, they're getting rid of the old projection faces, aren't they? And upgrading to what they've got over in, is it Hong Kong, is it? It's
Yes.
Far East Park, isn't it? Yeah.
So excited about this because the technology is a little bit weird. And I even remember opening day going on the attraction and the animatronics having issues because, again, it's one of those attractions that has been retrofitted because it was Maelstrom.
Of course.
So everything's been layered on top of it. And at first, not everything works smoothly. And I remember Elsa having issues with her arms and not both of them moving, and the face is freezing and all sorts of fun and games. So that will be really exciting for Epcot. But the big one is happening over in Soarin'. Wow. Soarin' over the USA, getting all patriotic.
Yeah, again, this big tie into the... I'm not quite sure what the centennial is what the celebrations will be this year for the July the 4th.
I think it's going to be something that'll run for quite a while through the summer. Firstly, obviously, Disney likes to do a celebration because it means it can sell merch, it can get people in the parks for a different offering, but also it will help in getting people in to Walt Disney World during the summer, because as we've seen in the UK, there's some amazing offers being offered right now because the numbers are predicted to be quite soft because there isn't a great deal of new things for people to do that repeat trip, and people may be delaying and deferring till 2027 or even going over to Universal and spending their vacation dollars over there.
Yeah, and then factor in as well when you get towards the summer that people are now much more aware of the weather conditions and are choosing to avoid those hot, sticky, sweaty peak months in Florida.
Unless you are a crazy girl like me.
Yeah, well, it's not because you're crazy. That's just because you work in education. Oh my, maybe you are crazy.
Okay. Last park for us to mention is Animal Kingdom, and we are getting Bluey to the conservation station this summer.
Woohoo!
I have no idea about Bluey, but I do gather he comes from Australia.
Yeah, it's an Australian, and I want to say BBC production, combined production that Disney have been running on Disney Plus by like a license agreement. So it's not actually a Disney property. So they're now paying other companies lots of money to have Bluey in their park because obviously Bluey is very big with what we're talking, under fives.
But great move to put it up at the conservation station because it'll drive people to get onto the train to go up there and also enjoy all the animal delights up there. Because I had a lovely little trip on the train. I got to see a bit of backstage as I was travelling along. And then you get to see all the animals up there as well. And who doesn't like smushing a goat? Of
course. Smushing?
Well, I smushed a rhino, so why can't I smush a goat?
Fair enough.
It's a new song by Katy Perry. I smushed a goat and I liked it. as you mentioned earlier, nothing much happening on the tropical Americas till 2027, apart from the work going on. And of course, Dinosaur will eventually, after what seems to have been a 6-year warning, it will actually definitely close.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously we were there out in February, March time. We thought that would be our last time riding it. I think then you obviously managed to ride it again in August, and then we got to ride it one more time in November, and it's like, is this ride ever going to end?
And I must admit, though, that the thing that people seem to be missing the most is the cookie ice cream sandwich, because that's been lamented now. But hey ho. So there isn't much else happening in the world of Walt Disney World apart from a couple of little tweaks. You know, you've got the usual mixing around with the water parks as it gets colder. They're operating one, and the Skyliner is having a week of refurb at the end of January. We have some building works going on still in Walt Disney World, and they are refurbishing rooms still at Pop and All Stars. So that seems to be an incredibly busy year for the old Walt Disney World. But there are also projects and things coming excitingly that are very similar to the world of Disneyland in California. They're also going to be getting Soaring Across America, debuting on the 2nd of July.
Oh, okay.
They're also getting the same Smuggler's Run update on the 22nd of May. So that's good. And they're getting Bluey's Best Day Ever on the 22nd of March in the Fantasyland Theatre.
Ooh.
And that's described as a live show with Bluey and Bingo. Now, for a moment, I thought, oh, Bingo, oh, Disney are doing gambling. But no, I gathered that Bingo is a Bluey character. And there's going to be themed food and games, which I love the Fantasyland Theatre. And I remember the days when they used to do all sorts of fun things there. And I sort of miss it. But yeah, there's a lot of things still in the offing for Disneyland Resort, because there's things like Avengers Campus, Avatar Land, we've got the Coco ride, there's parking structure, the 70th anniversary still going on.
Of course, yeah.
So lots of reasons to get across to Disneyland this year, which I would love to do, but more about that later. There's also Paris, and the World of Frozen is opening on the 29th of March.
Yeah, so it's quite nice to see actually something to talk about for Paris, isn't it? It's not very often we get to talk about Paris, really.
It's going to be so exciting for fans of Disneyland Paris to have these major attractions. There's the name change as well, where it goes over to Disney Adventure World. And Door doesn't have the same WDS impact to me, but it'll grow on me. There's going to be the Lion King Experience, which is a thrilling log flume ride through iconic scenes, which I imagine's got to be thoughtfully done, bearing in mind that Paris does see snow.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm guessing that there won't be quite as big a splash as what we are used to on. I was going to say Splash, but Tiana's as it is now. So, and I think I did remember seeing something where somebody was going through the ride building, and it would imply that you do the bit where you're going to get wet earlier on in the ride, so you actually have time to be inside in a warm building to dry off before you have to get off, which would seem most common sense, to be fair.
True. There's going to be the Thunder Mesa Riverboat landing enhancement with animatronics and scenes inspired by original Disney concept art. And that's going in place by the summer. There's obviously the nighttime show around the lake in the World of Frozen, which utilising the drone. So that's got to be done and seen. It sounds very immersive with lots of themed food and dining locations, which is going to obviously need investigating and a visit in 2026. Onto the cruise line, and fingers crossed, toes and all, the Disney Adventure should be sailing on the 10th of March. Obviously, it was meant to have its inaugural on the 15th of December, And as our lovely friends from Dis Down Under, Cat and Lewis, found out, it was going to be not ready. So they are eagerly anticipating its launch in March. And I imagine that is just going to blow people's mind away because it just sounds incredible. And it's going to be the hugest Disney ship in the fleet.
Yeah, because obviously this is not going to be like the ones that we've had before, because obviously this is a repurposed ship that was supposed to be going to another cruise line that Disney have got hold of, and are retweaking it to more of their aesthetic. But it's going to be akin more like the big ships that we're used to seeing with like Royal Caribbean, etc., isn't it? So it's going to be interesting. Look forward to hearing what Cat and Lewis have to think about it.
Absolutely. Well, we are going to leave things there for you now, as we are going to pop on over to our Patreon channel and record an exclusive podcast just for them. If you do want to join us on Patreon, if you go to patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls, and you will find a host of benefits for supporting the show financially. Also, follow us on Instagram at DisDreamGirls, where we share our love and life of Disney every single day. You can also, if you would like, give us that warm hug feeling by rating and reviewing our podcast in whatever listening platform you do. But until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.